So guys, in today's session, we are going to start 3D tools and features. And again, before we'll get started, so day 2 session is already live into the dashboard. So as you can see, the day 2 recording has been uploaded. So just go and check it out if you want to explore it further, because we already uploaded the day 2 recording. Uh, and if you remember, in the last session, we had talked everything about like how to create your sketch using different sketching tools inside SolidWorks. And we also explored how we can apply different constraints and features to make our sketches fully defined. Right. So this is what we have learned in the yesterday session, that was in the last session. Now in the today's session, we are going to explore further. As you know, the today's session is all designed about 3D tools and features. So whatever the sketches, flat sketches we have created in the last session, we'll see how we can convert and start creating something, start creating a design, start creating a sketch into 3D today, and how we can modify our 3D objects into SolidWorks. So this is the agenda for the today, and this is what we are going to learn: 3D tools and features. But before I will start these 3D tools and features, all of you, if you got any questions, any doubts, you can ask me now. So we are now inside our SolidWorks. So if you have any questions, doubts, anything that you want to discuss, let me know now. Great. So if you don't have any questions, we can move forward, and I will show you how we can work with different 3D tools inside SolidWorks. So all the time, as I said, when we'll start the tool, you will see a screen like this. To start a part file, simply go onto the file, click on the new, and select the part file, press OK. Right, very simple. It will load a new part file. And it's loading. Here you can see we just started our first part file. Now, as always, if you remember, what are the two things we have to do first? The first thing was to save this one. So let's click on this save icon and save this one with a name. Let's write day 3, right? So I have given it a name, day3.sldprt, because this is a part file. I will click on save, and it just got saved onto our desktop, right? Now the next thing, we'll make sure that the units are right. So at the bottom, I will just verify that the system of units I am following right now is correct. So right now it's millimeter gram second, mmgs. So it's correct. I don't need to change this one. Now we are fully ready to start diving into the 3D modeling concept. So again, in all the parametric CAD software, whether it's SolidWorks, Autodesk Inventor, CATIA, NX, everything starts with a sketch. So first we'll go to the sketch tool panel. We'll activate this sketch tool and we'll create few sketch first. So the plane is not really important. So we can select any of these 3 plane. Let's select this front plane this time. Now the front plane is active. We can simply activate our tool, center rectangle, and we can create a rectangle like this. Now we'll control the size of this as well. So for this, we'll activate the sketch dimension tool, smart dimension tool, and we'll define the 2 sides of this rectangle. Let's make it 100, and on this side, let's make it 60. Right, done. Click on finish. So this is the rectangle we created. Before we'll move forward, let's add circles on the 4 corners as a sketch. So we'll activate this circle tool, right? But before I will start creating circle, I want to create new rectangle that is offset to this existing rectangle by a distance of 10 millimeters or maybe 20 millimeter towards inside. So for that, we'll activate this offset entities tool. Then we'll select the profile, and since this select chain is active, that's why it's selecting the complete loop. I will make a offset, but right now the direction is going towards outside, as you can see into the preview. So I will click on this reverse option, so it will come towards inside. And here I will make sure that we have selected 10 because 10 is the distance I want to keep. I will click on finish. So as you can see, what we did, we had created a new rectangle that is towards inside by that is 10 millimeter offset from the external rectangle, right? Now I want this complete rectangle not as a solid profile. I want this as a construction line, right? So I will select all the sides by pressing shift on our keyboard. Here you can see I selected all the sides just by pressing shift on our keyboard, and will apply this option that says for construction. And you can see the rectangle is still there, but it just got converted as a construction line. Okay, just give me a second. So you can see we have just created this offset rectangle inside this bigger rectangle. Now we'll activate the circle sketch tool, right? We activated this circle sketch tool, and on each corner of this new rectangle we'll create 4 different circles. So by using these centers, I will create circles like this. But as you can notice, all these circles are of different sizes, different diameters. So to make them all 4 equal, what we'll do, we'll select all the circles by pressing shift on our keyboard. Here you can see I have selected all the circles over here, and then we'll apply this equal constraint. And the moment we'll apply this constraint, all 4 of them will become equal in size. Here you can see we just applied this equal constraint, and we'll click on finish. So all rectangles are now, all circles are now in equal size. Now we have to define one of the circle because all 4 of them are equal in size. So if we'll define one of them, that will help to define rest of the circles also. So we'll activate this smart dimension tool. We'll click on the perimeter of any one of the circle, and I can input the value that I want to use. Let's make it 10 millimeter in diameter, right? Now this is the shape we wanted to create. I can simply click on this finish a sketch to come out of this sketch. And the moment I will click on finish a sketch, here you can see this is my sketch one that we just finished. And the moment you are out from the sketch work environment, you will not be able to see any of the measurements that we have used to create this sketch. You will only be able to see lines and entities, right? And now since this environment, we are out of the sketch work environment, we can simply move on to the features tab. And inside the features tab, we have all the 3D features. So these are all the tools that you can see over here are 3D feature tools. The first is extrude, second is revolve, third is sweep, loft, extrude cut, hole, and there are so many fillets, linear patterns, ribs, wraps. There are so many tools, right? So let's convert this to 3D first. And how you can do that? First, select the sketch that you want to convert to 3D. So you can do that simply by going into your design tree and click on the entity to select it. So here you can see what we did. We have selected that sketch, right? Once we are out of the sketch work environment, we have selected the sketch work. And the moment you will select it, it will get highlighted, and then you can click on this Extrude Boss to convert this shape to 3D. So I will click on this Extrude Boss, and you can see the preview. It's getting converted. That sketch is getting extruded by a distance of 10 millimeter. So here, if we'll change this value, let's say 20, and if we'll click anywhere outside of this box, you can see the values are updating. So this is how it looks like right now. I have not accepted this command yet. It is just a it is just a preview at this moment, but still you can see that this is what we needed, right? So I can click on this OK button, and here is our result. Here is our design we just created using simple extrude tool and simple sketch. And the moment we perform this boss extrude operation, can you see in the design tree, this operation just got recorded into this one. And if we'll expand this boss extrude, under this, the sketch one that we created is hidden, but it is not turned on. We cannot see the sketch, right? Because the moment you will perform any operation to any of the sketch will get hidden automatically. So if you want to bring it back, simply make a right click on the sketch and click on this show icon. So if you click on it, you can see the sketch is again visible now, right? So sketch is again visible now. So if a sketch is visible from this sketch, we can estimate that we have used the same sketch to convert this to 3D, and the thickness we have considered over here is 20 millimeter, right? Let's turn that off again so I can see the body, 3D body carefully, right? Now, the first tool that we have learned is this extrude base tool, simple tool to convert any flat sketch to 3D, nothing unique. Now, the next tool that we are going to learn into the same feature tool panel is this fillet tool. Can you see that? If you remember, we also have learned fillet tool inside sketch work environment, and with using this fillet tool, we were able to remove the sharp corners and we were able to provide arc to the sharp corners, right? In the same way, in 3D also, we have this fillet tool by using which we can remove the sharp corners. So the moment you will activate the fillet tool, let's activate the fillet tool. And once fillet tool is active, the first thing it is asking me to select the item that I want to fillet. Let's say I want to fillet this edge. So I will click on the edge. Also this edge, and let's select this edge also. So I selected all the 4 edges, and in the preview, you can see it's applying some sort of fillet. But what is the radius for that fillet right now? So if we'll go and drag towards bottom, can you see the fillet parameters? Right now it's 10 millimeters. So we can decrease that to 5, right? We have that option. Here you can see it's updating. Or we can make it 20, we can increase it. So we have the option. Let's make it 5, right? We just decrease the fillet value 5. And since we are happy with the result, we are happy with the preview, I can simply click on the finish. And here you can see we just removed the sharp corners and we have applied some fillet onto this body. Now, we also want to apply fillet onto these sharp edges, right? So how we can do that? Again, activate the fillet tool, and this time select this edge. And right now you can see whenever I'm clicking on just single edge, and it is selecting the complete loop. Why? Because here the tangent propagation is turned on. So if we turn off this tangent propagation, then it will only select the selected edges. But if we turn it on, it will select the complete loop of the edge. Here you can see. Here I will just change this to 2 millimeter. I just want to apply a very small fillet, as you can see in the preview. And if you click on finish, you can see this is how my object look like now when we have applied fillet on all the sharp edges, right? This is how it looks like now. Now let's say if we have created these holes for a screw, right? So if a screw is a countersunk screw with flat head, we also have to apply some chamfer around these holes. And how we can do that? So in the same fillet tool, if we'll expand it, there is also a tool hidden that is known as chamfer tool, right? So if we'll activate the chamfer tool, again on the left, you will be able to see this window, the properties panel of the chamfer, where first thing is that you have to define what thing that you want to chamfer. So let's select this edge of the circle, also this edge of the circle. So I will select all 4 of them. Now it is applying some chamfer. It is giving me a preview, but that is very huge, very big. I just want to make 1 millimeter. So I will change the value here as 1, or maybe 2 millimeter. So you can see the preview. 2 millimeter chamfer is getting applied. And the moment I will click on finish, then you can see the result, right? Like this. So if you want to create a shape like this, having a cutout like this, where you can insert your countersunk flathead screws, then you have to use this chamfer around your circular openings for the holes, right? So what are the tools we have learned so far? We have learned to use the extrude tool, we have learned to use the fillet tool, we have learned to use the chamfer tool. So these are the three tools we have learned. Now let's say if you want to make a hole from this face to the next face, how you can do that? How you can make a hole that is going from this face through the body until this face? How you can do that? And if that face is rectangular, how you will be able to make? So it's very simple. If you remember, if you want to add any feature to your 3D body, you have to start from sketch only. So move to the sketch panel, again activate your sketch tool, and this time instead of selecting the three default planes, that is the front plane, top plane or right plane, you can select any of the flat plane to create your next sketch, that is sketch 2. So let's say this time I will select this face, and the moment I am moving my cursor, this face is getting highlighted, right? So if it is getting highlighted, this means I can create a sketch onto this face. So I will simply click on the face. Now this face is active to create a sketch. I will activate this center rectangle tool and I will create a rectangle like this, right? Now, before we'll move forward, first we'll define the size of this rectangle. Let's define this size as 10 by 20. Here you can see what I did. I created a rectangle 10 by 20, but I also want this rectangle in line with this origin point of the design space. So I will select the center point of the rectangle and center point of the origin and will apply this horizontal constraint. So both of them are now aligned, right? Now also have to define the distance of this rectangle center from this origin. So we'll apply the distance, we'll apply a distance of 10 like that. I will click on finish sketch, and here is the sketch we created onto this face. As you can see, if I'll orbit the object, you can see that this sketch we just created. Now, if I want to make a cut using this sketch, how we can do that? So for that, we have a special tool, and that tool again we can find under the feature tool panel, and that tool is known as Extrude Cut, because we want to make a cut over here, right? So every time if you want to make a cut onto your existing solid body using any of your sketch, using any of your closed profile, then you have to activate this tool Extrude Cut. So we'll activate this tool Extrude Cut, and automatically it has selected the profile. So if we'll expand the selected contours, you can see the sketch 2 is already selected. The only thing that we want this cut to be until this face, but right now it is only cutting up to certain distance, and that distance is 20. Can you see over here? And if you remember, the whole width of the body was 100. So if we'll change this to 100, you can see it is cutting up to the next face. But instead of inputting the values, we have other option also, and that option is, once the tool is active, under the direction 1, can you see right now it's blind is selected. So if the blind option is selected, then you have to define the distance of the cut. But if we'll change this to through all, this means it will make sure that it is cutting through all the body and is going up to the next phase. So that's why you can also define this option that says through all, and then you can simply click on finish. And the moment you will click on finish, you can see we just created a through cut from this body, right? It's very simple. Now, there are two ways to make a cut, right? There are two ways. So the moment we converted this sketch to 3D, if you'll notice into your design tree, a new folder also just got added, and that folder is solid bodies. So what we did, we have converted our 2D sketch, that was sketch 1, to a solid body. And now into this solid body only, we are making different kind of cuts and everything. So right now it is just a single solid body, right? Now let's create a sketch onto this face this time, right? So again, go to the sketch panel, activate your sketch tool, select this flat face to create a sketch. And this time, instead of creating rectangle, let's create an ellipse, right? So we'll activate the ellipse tool. We'll first specify the origin of ellipse, then the major axis, and then the minor axis, like this. We'll make sure that the origin and the origin of the design space are vertically aligned. I can apply it. Also, I will make sure that this point are horizontally aligned. So I will apply the horizontal constraint. So you can see this just became horizontal. I will click on finish. I will also define the distance from this point to the origin of ellipse, that is 10. Let's make it 10 only. And we'll also define other values, like the major axis for this ellipse is, let's keep 50. And also the minor axis of this ellipse, let's make it 50. Right? Or maybe 10 will be good. There you can see. So what we did, we have added another sketch onto this face. I am done with the sketch. I can click on finish a sketch. So you can see this is the sketch we created onto this face. Now, this time also we want to make a cut that is going up to the next face. But instead of using extrude cut tool, let's use the extrude tool, right? So I will activate the extrude tool. So before activating this tool, I have to select the sketch, right? So select the sketch, then activate the extrude tool. And you can see it's extruding, it's adding the body. But if we'll keep this direction towards this direction, and the distance is right now 20, let's make it 40. So you can see the length just got increased. And now if I'll click on finish, you can see it has added a new body, but starting from that face towards this direction. What if you want this same body inside the body? So for that, again, edit the last command that you did, make a right click, click on edit feature, and you can flip the direction. Just click on these symbols to reverse the direction of the extrude. So if I'll click it here, you can see extruding towards this direction. But right now it is going up to this face only. So first I will change this to through all, right? So now it is extruding up to that face, right? And the moment you activated this, you created this new body over the same body, there is an option that you will be able to see that says merge result right now. So merge result means now if I'll click on finish, it is not working, right? You can see it's giving an error, right? So what we'll do, we'll untick this option that says merge result and we'll click on finish. And now under the bodies, can you see this is the one body and this is the another body, both of them overlapping with each other, right? So we have this another body that is Boss extrude body, and then we have this main body that we created earlier. So we have two different bodies overlapping with each other at this moment, right? Now to make a cut, we'll use another tool. That tool is known as combine tool. So how many of you have studied Boolean operations in your mathematics? Do you know what is Boolean operations? Just okay. So what are those? The first is addition, second is subtraction, and the third is intersection. So there are three types of Boolean operations: addition, subtraction, and intersection. So that concept is applied over here. So if you'll activate this combine tool, the first Boolean operation is add. So here we don't want to add these two bodies, because if we'll add these two bodies, we'll get the same result for the outer body, right? But here we want to subtract. So we'll activate this option that says subtract. Now, the moment you will activate this option that says subtract, then you have to define which is the main body. Like if you are making a subtraction from something, then you have to define one number as the main number, and from that number you are subtracting something, right? So first you have to define the main body. So let's say this big body is the main body. So just click on the body and it just got selected, right? Now what you want to subtract? So activate this option. I want to subtract this shape. So I will click on to that shape. Okay. So from here it's little tough to select. So what you can do, we can expand the design tree that is hidden all the time over here. And from here, under the main body, you can select this one, the big body, and under the body to subtract, you can select this one, this Boss Extrude Cut, right? Simply. And then the moment you will click on finish, you can see that body just got subtracted from the main body, and we got a result like this, right? We got a result like this. That is a hole that is passing through the complete body like this. So the same extrude cut operation we have performed in two different ways. Either you use the extrude cut operation, or either you use the combine tool to subtract the body from the main body, right? So both of the operations will give you the same result, but we can say these are the two different approach to get the same shape. So which one do you prefer, the option A or the option B? Which is more easy? Which one do you think is more easy, option A or option B? Extrude cut. Yes, definitely. Extrude cut is more simple, but we should have to learn that tool combine also. That's why I have given you the demo. Now, as you can see in the when we perform this combine tool, that operation just got recorded into the design tree, right? And if we'll make a right click and click on this edit feature, and let's change this subtract to common. So if we'll make it common, what is the result we are going to get? Can anyone guess? You cannot guess. So let's see the preview. If I'll click on preview, show preview, it's not showing me the preview. Anyway, first we have to select both the bodies, boss extrude and this, then it will show the preview. So here you can see. So if we'll make a intersection kind of Boolean operation, we'll get a shape like this. So this particular shape is common between both the bodies, the cut extrude body and the boss extrude body. That's why we are getting the shape. We don't want this kind of shape, so we'll simply change this to subtract. Or if we'll make an add, we'll simply get a solid body, right? So that's completely on to you. Let's untick that option. So this is the result we got. Now, right now, as you can see, we got a hole from this direction, rectangular hole that is passing through this body, and also this parabolic hole, sorry, elliptical hole that is passing through this direction. Now, let's inspect the body from the inside. And if you want to see a body at the midsection, how we can do that? So for that, we have a tool called section view, right? So we'll activate this section view tool. Then we can select the three default planes that we have. Let's say I will select this top plane, and then you can see the preview, like your body looks like this from inside. If we'll change the plane to this plane, your body looks like this from inside. So using this section view option, we can inspect our body from inside, even from like whether it's a solid body or not. So here you can see it's complete solid body, right? It's not a surface body, as you can see, and we can control of this using this drag option. We can control the position of the section view. Let's say I want to see section view near to the holes, so I can see that, right? And this is also controlled with respect to the dimensions. So if you want at a particular dimensions, let's say I want that on a 40 millimeter, so I will click, and here you can see it's exactly showing me the section 40 millimeter from the mid plane, right? So there was already a default plane, this right plane, and by using that right plane, I'm just moving it by 40 millimeter towards forward or backward. I can flip the direction, and then I can see the result of section inside my body. So we have that option to inspect our body from inside using this section tool, right? So what tool we have learned now? We have learned about extrude tool, extrude cut tool, fillet and chamfer, and we have learned about the combine tool, right? So these were the 5 tools we have learned so far. Now the next tool into our list is how we have created these holes, right? So to create these holes, what process we have followed? We have created sketches, right? Circle sketches, and then we had made extrude cut to create these holes, right? But if you want to create standard holes, there is a separate tool inside SolidWorks for that, and that is known as hole wizard, right? Can you see that option, hole wizard? So the moment if we'll activate this hole wizard tool, here you can see the moment we activated the tool, here we have all the different type of hole options. So first we have to define the position of the hole. Let's say I want to create hole onto this face, so I have to define the position of the hole, like at what point we want to create our hole. So first we'll go on to the position section over here. Then we'll click on the face onto which you want to start your hole. So I will select, let's say I will select this face. I will click on the face. then I can define the position. So you can see the point tool is automatically active. I just have to define the point like this, or even I can create multiple points like this. Here you can see what I did. I created multiple points, right? And let's create single point, not multiple point. So I will press Ctrl plus J. So here you can see this is the point we defined. Now using the dimension tool in the same position, using the dimension tool, smart dimension tool, I can define its position. So with respect to the origin, let's define its distance. Let's make it 15, right? And even in this direction also 15, right? So 15, 15 on both sides. Now you can click on this finish dimension, and then you can move on to the type, and then you can select the hole type. So right now a through hole is getting created. Simple, you can see this simple through hole. You can also change this to countersunk hole. So the moment you will change, you can see the shape is updating, or this kind of slot hole, or this kind of some. So we have different types of holes available over here. You can see even we have the slotted hole or some other type of holes. So it's completely onto you, like what kind of holes you want to create. Let's say I want to create a simple hole, so I will select that. Now what standard do you follow to create this hole? Whether you want ISO type of holes, or we have different types of standard available over here, but in India we usually use ISO type of holes. Now the hole type is definitely Doyle holes. This means it will be a through hole. And then the size, like what will be the diameter for the hole? Let's make it 6, right? So here you can see the 6 diameter for this hole. Now here the operation is already selected. Up to the next phase, that is through all. So we don't have to worry about that. Simply click on finish, and here you can see we simply, by making a single click, we created a through hole, right? This hole, through hole we created, and that step also just got recorded into the design history. And that just by seeing these names, we can estimate that this hole is 6 millimeter in diameter, and the hole type is dowel hole type, right? This means simple through hole type. Now since we created this hole, right, and so we learned how we can use this hole tool, simple hole tool, to create simple holes. So we can create multiple holes also in a single chance, and we can create single hole also. So we created single hole. Now let's say you want this hole to be circular patterned onto this body, like a hole on a flange, right? So how we can do that? So very simple. There is a special tool for that inside your feature panel, and that tool is known as circular pattern, and that is hidden under this drop down of the linear pattern. So if you'll activate this circular pattern tool, the first thing it is asking you to specify the direction, like the center axis direction along which you want to pattern. So here I will select this origin point. It's not selecting. So we need an axis, right? We need a center axis to define the direction, but here we don't have any such axis. So for that, we'll escape, press escape, and first we'll create a axis. And for that, what we'll do, we'll go to our sketch panel and we'll activate this sketch tool. We'll create a sketch on this face. Here, using the origin, we'll create a circle, random circle of any diameter. You can define any diameter for this circle. Let's make it 25. And then this circle we created onto this face, just exit this circle. Sorry, we want this circle also to be construction type. So we'll go back into the sketch. We'll right click on the sketch. We'll click on edit sketch, and we'll select the sketch. We'll convert that to construction. Now we'll come back out of the sketch. Here you can see. So we have this sketch that you can see it's over here. Now activate the tool that is under the feature panel inside the linear pattern tool, that is the circular pattern tool. So activate this circular pattern tool. Now in the direction tab, select that circle. So what I did, I selected, it's not selecting anyway. So select the origin of that circle. It's also not selecting. Okay, it is not working. I think we have to define features only. It's not possible to select any entities. Anyway, just forget about it. So anyway, no problem. if it is not working, what is the other way to get this circle patterned around this space? And that way is, first delete this sketch 6 because we don't need this one. Simply select the sketch, press delete on your keyboard, press S, and that sketch got deleted, right? Yes, axis is the option, but there is a other more optimized option that I want to say. So edit your whole tool that you did, go to the edit feature. Now go to the position tab, and here what we can do, we can pattern this one over here as well, right? So first what I will do, I will activate this circle tool. I will create a circle like this. I will make sure that this circle is touching to the center point of our whole position, and then we'll convert this circle to construction first. Now we'll go to this circular pattern tool. This time under the parameters, I will select this circle, right? And then I will define the quantity as 8 number of times. And you can see these points are getting created, right, on all the positions. So this is not selected, parameter is not selected. So redefine it on the origin. Okay, so the entities to pattern, we'll delete this one, we'll select this one. First, let's define the parameter as this origin, and then the entities to pattern as this point. And the moment we selected the point, you can see that this point is getting patterned by 8 number of times through the complete perimeter. So the moment I will click on finish, you can see on each points the holes are getting assigned. And if I'll click on finish, you can see the holes just got created on all the points, the entities, the numbers that we have defined. So all the time, if you want to decrease or increase the number of holes, simply go to your hole, make a right click, edit that feature, move to the position panel, right? And then you can just double click on this number. You can just double click on this number and you can update it. Let's say I want to make 6 only. So just change the number to 6, click on finish, finish, finish. And here you can see your number of holes just got updated. So that's the way. That is the way to use this to pattern your holes on any of the body. Like that is one way. The other way I tried was the circular pattern tool, that didn't work. So I will show you how you can use that tool as well. So for that, to use that tool, we have to create a reference geometry into this model. And how we can create reference geometry? So on that feature panel, under the tool panel, you can see there is a reference geometry tab. Can you see that? And under the reference geometry, we have the option to create new axis, right? There is an option to create new axis. So if we'll activate this new axis tool, then we can create a new axis. So if we'll click on this face, here you can see, if we'll click on this face and this face, and if we'll click on the one line, okay, so that is not going to work. Okay, so to create axis, what we'll do, we'll turn on our which sketch. Okay, so we have to create a sketch. So we'll go back to the sketch panel. We'll click on the sketch tool. We'll select the face. Let's create a sketch, simple circle, right? And change that circle to construction line. Click on finish. So wherever we are repeating something, I am doing it quickly so we can save some time, right? So here you can see what we did. We have created a circle onto this flat face. Now we'll go back to the feature panel, tool panel, and we'll activate this tool that says axis. Just activate this tool axis and then select this circle. Let's try whether it's working. No, it's not working. Cylinder, again it's not working. Points. Let's finish and see whether it's creating. No, it's not creating. Not creating. Okay, that's not working. Anyway, just ignore it at this moment. Maybe because of some reason it is not working, because maybe we can use the circular pattern tool on the flange kind of section only. So let's try that. What we'll do, we'll activate the sketch tool again, and this time I will select the top plane as a sketch plane, right? And here I will create a circle like this, and another circle like this, and another circle onto it like this. Let's change this to construction line. Let's say we are creating a flange, right? I will click on finish sketch. First I will select the sketch, and then we'll extrude this feature, right? And we'll select all the profiles. I don't want that hole to be there. I will select all the profiles. So under the contours, I can select all the profiles. Here you can see. So I'm completely extruding the complete circle. So I will change this to 10. Let's say I'm only extruding up to the 10 thickness. I will click on finish. Here you can see what we did. We simply created a circle, cylinder kind of shape. You can see disc kind of shape. Now let's add a hole onto it. So before adding hole, I can simply activate this hole wizard tool, right? I will go on to the position, will click on the flat face. Then I will define the point, and then I will define the position of this point with respect to the center of the circle. Let's say 25. Then we'll move back to the type, and this time I will select this countersunk type of hole, but little bigger, not this much. So I will change this to M4. M4, let's say I'm creating this hole for M4 screw. And here we'll change this to up to next, right? Or through hole, whatever you want, you can keep, because we want to create a through hole, right? I will simply click on finish. So here you can see what we did. We created a hole onto this disc, one single hole like this. Now let's use the circular pattern. So we'll activate the circular pattern tool. Now under the directions, I will select this face. So this face will act as a direction for your pattern. And then under the angle that we want to cover the complete 360 degrees. So I will change 360 degree. And in the quantities, let's make it 12. So I need 12 number of holes. And the moment I will click on finish, in the fraction of seconds, I was able to assign multiple holes onto this single body within few seconds only. So this is also possible using this circular pattern tool. And the same way you can use linear pattern tool or the mirror tool, right? I don't have to show you how you can use the tool, and that will be your assignment to explore these tools and then come up with lots of questions. If you have any query questions, if you are facing issue in using these tools, you can ask me in the next class. So I will define you how to use that. So circular line can also be selected. It is a very good question. So if we'll go and edit the feature, so here you can see instead of face, if we'll delete that, we can also select this circular edge. That is also possible, right? We cannot select the point, but we have to select either face or edge. That will help tool to understand that this is the circular path along which I want to create a pattern, right? So that's why it's important to select either edge or face. That's possible. And again, if you remember, I told you in the 2D sketching circular pattern, I can skip the instances as well. For example, in this case, if you want to skip any of the holes, so I can activate this option that says instance to skip, activate this option, and then untick that points that you want to skip. And the moment you click on finish, only those 2 points from the middle are skipped, like that is not getting created. So if you have some custom requirements, that is also possible inside SolidWorks using this linear pattern tool. And my recommendation is always, whenever you're creating any solid body and if it needs a hole, then don't create hole using the extrude cut operation. Always use this hole wizard tool to create a hole. And why I am saying this, I will explain you in a detailed way in the drawing section. So once we'll start converting our models to drawings, you will have a clear idea why I am saying this. So whatever I am saying this right now, just remember that. So here you can see this is what we created right now. The next tool into our list is this revolve or sweep tool. So it's very simple tool again. Let me create few sketches. So we'll activate the sketch tool. We will go on to the front plane to create a sketch, and let's Let's create a straight line first, like this, and a line like this. So what I did, I created a horizontal and vertical line, very simple lines. Now let's play with some spline tool and we'll see what we can do with the spline, right? So we'll activate this spline sketch tool and we'll start from this point. So let's make some interesting shape like this, right? So what I did, I created a line like this. Now I will make sure that the profile is closed. So I will connect these 2 points. So now my profile is closed. So what I created a sketch like this that you can see. I will adjust the points a little bit. So it will look much better. You can define all the position points using the dimension tool. I'm not doing it at this moment just to save some time. So you can see we created a closed profile. Now what we can do using this revolve tool, you will see. If we'll click on finish sketch and if we'll select our sketch that we created, this sketch, right? And then we'll activate the revolve tool. And next, the first thing that is asking me to select the axis of revolution. So let's define this vertical axis, vertical line, because axis will always be a straight line. It cannot be curved line or anything. This you always have to remember that axis will always be a straight line. So we'll activate this option, we'll select this line, and here you can see the moment I selected the line, it is already revolving this complete sketch by 360 degree and giving you a shape like this, right? Let's say I don't want 360 degree, I want only 90 degrees. So I can change that and it will only be revolving up to 90 degree or maybe 270 degree like this. This is possible, but I want 360 degrees so I can get a closed shape. So I made a 360 degree and get a shape like this. And the moment I will click on finish, you can see I got a shape like this, kind of vase where we can put our flowers, right? Very simple, very quick. But if we'll change this tool, since this tool, whatever the operations you will perform inside using the features tool, all will be recorded over here. So all the time, if you have the full control to edit the operation or the values inside that. So let's say I want to edit this revolve. So I will make a right click, go on to the edit feature, right? Now here, if you remember what axis of rotation I have selected, and that axis was vertical axis, right? So this is the line 2, that is the vertical axis. I will delete that. I had deleted that axis. This time, let's select this small axis as axis of revolution. And the moment I will select, I will click on finish. You can say using the same profile, we are getting some different shape. Just what we did, we have changed the axis of revolution. Let's again edit it and again delete this line. And this time, let's select this bottom line because we can only select the straight line as the axis of revolution, right? So if we select this bottom line, we'll click on finish. You can see using the same profile, we are getting this third kind of shape. So we have multiple options to explore using the same tool. It completely depends upon how you utilize your sketch to get different kind of shapes. So let's go back again and change and select the axis we selected again and click on finish. So this is what the shape we got. But this is not open. This is completely solid. So where we can put our flowers, because there is no space, and vases are not like this solid body. They are always hollow from inside. How we can do that, right? Any idea? If you use the tool, do you know what is that tool to make this hollow? Sachin, do you know? Not extrude. Biswajit, do you have idea like what tool we can use to make any solid body hollow? Okay, no problem. So if you don't know, I will teach you now what is that tool, and that tool is known as, and that is sitting just in front of your eyes, and that tool is known as cell tool. Here you can see even the icon itself explains like selling the body from inside, making it hollow from the inside, right? So by using this body, we can make any solid body hollow. So let's activate the tool. The moment you will activate the tool, the first thing is the parameters, and that parameter is the thickness, like how much thickness you want to keep. So let's make it I will just keep 1 millimeter. And then it is asking me that from which face you want to keep it open. So I will select that face. I will simply click on finish, and you can see it is now hollow from inside and closed from the outside with a thickness of 1 millimeter. Right. And if it show you the section view, you can see it is looking something like this from inside. So now this is the ways that we can manufacture and use this into our homes, right, to decorate. Like we can create some designs, paint some designs onto the surface of this vase, and we can utilize it, right? But this is not the clay makers. They don't use this process. They don't have the access to CAD. They used to do all things by hand only. But as a designer, we want everything to be pre-engineered, pre-defined. So our task is always whatever we are creating, it should be well planned, well engineered, right? Now let's edit this cell tool, and we'll show you one more thing. So if I edit this feature, so here you can see I remove this top face. What happened if we'll add this bottom face also? Because bottom face is also a flat face. So we can include multiple flat faces into this. And let's increase the thickness to 2 millimeter. And now if we'll click on finish, what we got, a solid body is open from the bottom, right? So whatever the faces you will select, by maintaining the thickness that you have specified, it will make it hollow. For example, let's try for this flange. Activate the cell tool, right? Select the face, specify a thickness of 2 millimeter, and press OK. And here you can see this is the shape we got, right? So using this cell tool, we have multiple options available to explore different kind of shapes. So if you're designing something for injection molding, and if you want to maintain a continuous thickness around your complete plastic body, just to avoid any shrinkage during plastic injection process, you can use this cell tool to maintain the even thickness around your complete design, right? So that is also possible. Now you can see it was very simple, very easy to use, and also looks very nice, right? Also looks very for user, it's very good, right? So what are the tools we have explored until now? We have learned Extrude Boss, we have learned Revolve, we have learned Extrude Cut, Hole Wizard. We have also explored Cell Tool and Fillet Tool and Pattern Tools, right? So these are the tools we have explored so far. Now, let's learn about the next tool, that is Split Tool. And Split Tool is also very important. And all the time, onto the top, you can see these are all the tools available for me in my SolidWorks. But in your SolidWorks, let's say some of the tools are not available. Let's say Combine is not visible inside your SolidWorks over here. So from where you can add this tool into this feature tool panel? It's very simple. Go and click onto this option that you will see onto the top. Then this search all command bar will open. Then there you can search for the command name that you cannot see into your SolidWorks. It will be visible over here. Then simply drag it, click on it and drag it, and you can place it anywhere. Here you can see I dragged it multiple times. That's why the same tool is available over here multiple number of times. So that is also possible. But I can simply what we can do, I can simply I don't know how I can remove these tools from this list, but anyway, if you cannot find the tool, you can add this way, right? It's very simple. Now the next tool that we are going to explore is this split body tool, and this is also very important. What is a split body? Let's say we have this body, right? We have created this body, and now if we want, let's say I want this split body to be split in two parts, right? And just from this face, let's say I want to split this body from this face parallelly, I want to create a plane that is 40 millimeter away from this face, and I want to split the body. So first we have to add a reference plane. And for that, what we can do, we can go to the reference geometry and we can click on this plane tool. And the moment you will click on the plane tool, then you can define any available plane to create the new plane. So the moment you will select any of the plane, flat plane, a new reference plane will be getting created. But it is getting created in the wrong direction at this moment. So I want this towards opposite side. So I will click on flip offset. So now it is getting on created onto the right side. So that is just a reference plane, because in default, by default, we have 3 planes, right? Front, top, and right plane, right? But apart from that, if you want to add any new plane, you have to use existing flat faces to create new planes, right? So I have selected this flat face, and now it is creating 10 millimeter offset towards this direction, this new plane. Here you can see. You can see the preview. Let's make it 30. I don't want 10, I want 30. Somewhere over here, right? And now, since this is the place where I want to create a plane, I will click on finish. And the moment you will click on finish, can you see in the design history, this plane step also got added, right? Right? Plane also got added. Now, this is the plane we created. Here you can see. Now, let's split this body with reference to this plane, the new plane, that is plane 1 that we created. So activate this tool called split body tool. You can see the tool name itself is split. So activate this tool called split body. Then it is asking you for the trim tool. So in this case, our trim tool is this plane. So I will select the plane. You can see the plane just got selected, right? Then under the target body, I will click on this main body. I want to select the complete body, not this one. First come to this and activate this option, all body, activate this option, and then select your body. So the moment I selected the body, you can see it's giving me a preview that your body is getting divided into 2 different parts. And these are the 2 parts. So which resulting body you want to keep? If you want to keep both of them, then you have to tick both of them, right? If you want to keep only this one, then you can untick this one. Or if you want to keep this one, you can untick this one. Let's say I want to keep both of them. So I will select both of them. I will click on the finish. And now the same body, if you go onto the solid tab, if you remember, we have a solid tab, and you can see on the same single body, earlier it was single body, got divided into 2 different body, that is split 1 and split 2. So if you turn off any of the body, you can see we have 1 different body. This is split 1, and I can turn it on again. I can turn it off this time, this one, and this is the second body. So what I did, I had splitted the available body into multiple bodies. Now, if you want to split it further, then again you have to add a plane. So activate the reference geometry plane again, select the plane, right? Select the plane, offset it towards the right direction, and then click on finish. New plane just got added. Again, activate this split tool, and then delete this plane. I want to select this plane 2 now, and here activate this one and select the body that you want to split. I want to keep both of them, and we'll click on finish. And here you can see this body again, because this was a separate body, this body again got separated into 2 different body, that is top and bottom body. And here is the result, top and bottom body. So this is how you can use the split tool inside SolidWorks, and this is how you can use the combine tool inside SolidWorks. So we have learned almost all the important tools that are important, that are needed in case of feature tool panel. These are all the solid bodies that you have to know when you are working inside SolidWorks. So any questions up to this point, guys, just let me know. Or if you want to know any other tool, just comment into the chat box. Because we are limited with the time, I always want you to always to explore the tools, because if I have missed something, explore the tools from your end and then come up with the questions like these are the problems we are facing when we try it at our end, right? And that way, whatever you will learn, that will be with you for lifetime. Once you will start doing by yourself, then only you will start having the best experience of learning any tool, right? Otherwise, if you'll just keep watching me doing the things, it is not going to make a difference. But if you'll start making your hands dirty, then only you can be a master of anything. So let me know if you have any questions up to this point, any one of you. Okay, so again, if you want to rejoin, yes, you can rejoin. And to rejoin again, either you delete the last split command to rejoin them again, or let's say I want to delete this piece and this piece. I want to add this piece and this piece, not this one and this one. So how we can do that? Combine tool, definitely. Activate the combine tool, activate this option, add, select the bodies that you want to add, click on finish. And now you can see This is still the separate body, whereas these two just got combined. Super easy, right? Super easy. Here you can see. So that way I created a separate piece over here. Now, one more thing. While splitting the bodies, what I was doing, I was using the planes, right? I was using planes. Just give me a second. I'm just turning off the sketch, this circle sketch. Let's turn off these planes also. I don't want to see these planes now. So I can turn that off. Yeah. So let's say I want to split this body in a random fashion, right? How we can do that? Select the face along which you want to make a split, create a sketch, and I will create, instead of creating any plane, I will create, let's say, spline like this. And we'll click on select. So what I did, I created a random spline that is completely crossing the body, right? Even it is almost covering the complete body, right? Now click on the finish sketch. So we got a sketch onto this flat face like this. Now we'll activate the split body tool. And instead of selecting the plane, I can also select the sketch as a trim tool. And then if we'll select the body, we'll click on finish. And if we'll go into the bodies and turn the small pieces off, can you see what kind of trim we got? So that is also possible. And by using these commands, by combining all these commands, you can create almost any kind of shapes that you see around you. All the parametric designs, whether it could be a headphone stand, whether it could be your laptop, whether it could be your mobile phones, whether it could be your utensils at your home, you can create anything. So, and that is the best way, I think. Like if you want to experiment, just pick any of the object around you. It could be a spoon around you, it could be a plate around you, it could be any object that you see around you and looks like if you're confident that you can try out, just take it, measure it into your into your mobile phone, or using a simple ruler. If you have the vernier caliper, use it and try to replicate that into the SolidWorks. And that is the best way of learning any tool. Then you will, whatever the problems you will face, you can search on the internet and get it solved. And that is the best way to start learning any of the CAD tool. So I had just given you the complete overview. Almost I have explained all the important tools inside the Solid feature panel that you can utilize to get any kind of shape. Now, let me know if you have any questions. I'm waiting for your questions for more 5 minutes. Okay, so Sachin don't have any question. Thank you so much, Sachin. I hope you will practice more, because practicing is very important. And also check out the assignment for the day 2, if you can do that. Thank you. And guys, if you are enjoying the content, whatever I am teaching you into these live streams, into this bootcamp, please talk about that onto LinkedIn, like about your experience, about your learning experience. If you have gained something, learned something, please do talk about that, so I can also get some visibility. Biswajit, do you got any questions? Just let me know, Sudhir. Biswajit, if you got any questions. Okay, no problem. No problem. So, Sudhirji, do you have any questions? Okay, anyway, so if you don't have any questions, no problem. Again, the same thing. Whatever we have learned today, we'll be uploading the recording into the same dashboard. Also, I will be sharing the link with you. But again, I'm repeating, if you there is one more thing, like these videos I have, whatever the recordings I have recorded, I am hosting right now those onto my private YouTube channel, and those videos are not public yet. But because of that, what will happen, you need a link to those videos to access those videos. So if you want me to make those videos public so you can easily check out all the time onto my channel, you can tell me so I can make it public as well. So it's completely on to you, your choice, because this is your content. So it's completely on to you. But if you want me to make it public, just let me know into the WhatsApp group. Otherwise, we'll keep it private. But in that case, all the time you will need a link to access these videos. So Hitesh is very late today. Hitesh, you are very late today. We are almost completing the session, and the recordings will be available onto the dashboard by the end of tomorrow. So you can watch the recordings, because whatever we have learned today is all about solid modeling using different 3D tools and features. And this session is really very important. So if you have missed the session, just watch the recording that will be uploading tomorrow. So this was all about today, guys. Thank you so much for watching and learning with me. And if you have any questions, you can also ask me in the WhatsApp group. Until now, keep learning, keep enjoying. So thank you so much. We'll see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Good night to everyone. Thank you. Thank you.